Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be opening the Nintendo Switch OLED model. This was very kindly sent to me by Nintendo UK to show you all, so massive thank you to Nintendo UK. I collect all, even though I'm already a Switch owner, I collect all variants and revisions and stuff, and so I have been looking forward to the OLED model, even though it's just a minor revision of the Switch console. It is still a very exciting addition, upgrade, whatever you want to call it. And again, massive thank you to Nintendo UK for gifting me this console. As always, even though the product was gifted, I will give you my honest opinion, and I have not been told to say anything about this, so whatever you hear in this video today and on socials is my opinion. And with that out of the way, let's open this beautiful box. And we've got to start by saying this is a tiny box. Now, I would even say the original Switch box is like double the size of this, and even the Switch Lite box, this is only a little bit bigger. I was going to say, I thought I had the Switch Lite box next to me, but I don't. But this box is tiny, and do you know what we love? We love less packaging, less environment impact, and we stand that. We love less packaging on this channel. So nothing too crazy on the box. On this side, it will say what you get inside, and on the back, just some promotional images of the very pretty Switch OLED model. And you can get this in white, as you can see here, with a lovely new white dock and white Joy-Cons, which I don't believe you've been able to get white Joy-Cons before. Come on, autofocus, help me out here. There you go. And you can also get it in the standard neon blue and red, like the original model of Switch, with the black dock as well. But the white is kind of exciting. Not a massive fan of white consoles. I've made that very clear on socials over the years, but this one does kind of look good, not gonna lie. Ooh, so we're starting off here. Start. Okay, so start, you've got to plug it in. Now that's the UK adapter, European plug socket. Put your Joy-Cons in. Pretty standard stuff. As to start, you should charge the console, and then you got your serial code there as well. Okay, so starting off, we have the Joy-Cons, lovely white Joy-Cons, and I'll answer a question here. I do have a bunch of questions. I asked you guys on Twitter if there's anything you want to know about the Switch OLED that hasn't been addressed in other similar videos, so I'll be trying to cover some of those as well. Do forgive me, I have some cheat sheets next to me to make sure that I cover everything. So I have had a question about the Joy-Cons and in regards to Joy-Con drift. Now, I believe that the Joy-Cons have been revised, and since the Skyward Sword model, I believe, and those Joy-Cons made after that, there has been some work done to stop or help stop drift. I did have drift with my original launch Switch model Joy-Cons, and that was fixed for free as it was under warranty. But these should be better, I have been told. But these are lovely and white, and they are the same size, so you can put these in the original model Switch. That is no problem. Joy-Cons are Joy-Cons. I would also recommend when they are in console, a lot of people forget to do this, but you can update the software on the Joy-Cons in the system menu. You can upgrade the controller software just in case there's any problems. So when you first turn on your console, you should make sure everything is updated. So I'll put these two, actually, I'll put them back in there for now. And there it is. Here is the big screen. That does actually feel a little bit weighty. Talking of weight, actually, that's a good thing. There is a difference in weight. I'm looking at my cheat sheet now. Ooh, hopefully, right. I'm going to hold that there so you don't get my reflection right. So let's put that there while I talk about the weight. So the OLED model is 71 lbs. That's pounds, right? 71 lbs, and the old one is 66. The old one being the old original Switch, and that's point. Yeah, it's point. I've missed the point. There's 0.71 pounds. Anyway, I'll have stuff up on the screen while I'm talking about this. So 71 lbs with on its own, and 0.93 lbs with the Joy-Cons, and the original model is 66 but 88 with the Joy-Cons. So we might as well just... No, actually, let's just look at the screen as it is now. Actually, let's put them on. Let's get the click. There we go. Pop them on. So yeah, I do feel that I can feel that it is a bit heavier. I do have my Switch here as well. So yeah, I do feel is a little bit, only a little bit. It's barely noticeable, to be honest. So that is it, side by side. They are exactly the same size. In case you're wondering, the Switch OLED model, they are the same size. There's no difference. The only difference is the screen size. You have a 7-inch OLED screen and a 6.2 LCD screen on the older Switch, and they are both 720p, 1280 by 720 in resolution. So exactly the same. So same dock. Oh, we'll talk about dock a bit more in a minute. But if you're worried about size and your Switch cases that you already own, don't worry about it. It should fit in. Talking of screens, while we're at this point, now I have had a question about this screen protector. Now, from what I have read, forgive me if I've misunderstood this, but there is a very thin layer of a screen protector which you can sort of see. This is going to be very hard to pick up on camera. If you hadn't have told me, I wouldn't have known. I didn't know about this screen protector until it was mentioned to me on Twitter. You can't see a thing. I didn't know. Joe has an OLED model. He didn't know. You can sort of see on the edges. There we go. Where a screen protector could be. Honestly, if you hadn't have told me, I would not have known at all. But this screen protector, it is not a normal screen protector. It's just a basic, if the screen smashes, that shards of glass won't go everywhere. I guess that is in a way what screen protectors usually do, but it's a very, from my understanding, basic safety one. So Nintendo said, don't take it off. Marty says, don't take it off. You'd be hard pressed to get this off anyway. I don't even know how. I don't know about you guys, but I really struggle taking off normal screen protectors. But this is, you can't see it. So it will have absolutely no, sometimes you put a screen protector on and it kind of dulls things a bit. This is for everyone's benefit, so do not remove the screen protector. To be honest, forget it's even there, because it's just a safety film thing. I do have arriving today one of the official screen protectors. I will always recommend for any electrical device getting a screen protector for that extra level of caution, because you never know. Accidents do happen. So the screen protector situation, that's the lowdown on that. So let's quickly look at the body itself. So I have been asked, we haven't looked at the back yet. Okay, so everything's pretty much the same up top. You have the power button there, the volume buttons, they're a bit different. And the game card slot. Ooh, okay. And that is where the fan goes. Let's try and open this up. Ooh, that feels a little bit stiff. Bit worried about that. That does feel like it could break if you're not careful. So be very careful with your game card slot. Then again, let's have a look at my Pokemon one. It's pretty much the same. So that's the difference. So your fan, there we go. So the volume thing's a little bit bigger and slidier, different shape for the power button. The fan vent different. Game card area pretty much the same, slightly different flap for the game cover. The audio port is the same, and of course Joy-Cons are the same because all Joy-Cons are mix and match. So the stand, oh no, actually let's look at the bottom before we look at the stand. Bottom's pretty much same. Serial number, not on the bottom, which is interesting, but because you can mix and match the docks, you can put the OLED in the old dock and vice versa, but the bottom is the same. You can just see a bit of the stand on this one. So the back, I've been asked about the body. Now, honestly, they feel kind of the same. I'd say this is maybe more of a matty, like the how a Switch Lite feels. Maybe this is just because I've got the Pokemon one here, which has slightly different plastic. But I don't know, they feel kind of the same. Like, it's not too noticeable if that's something that bothers you. As for the stand, you have the much bigger stand. Now, I always worried about the old Switch stand. I rarely used it because it just felt very flimsy. Okay, this is awesome. Okay, so the new stand, you can have it wherever you want it, and there's the barcode in there as well. That's much, much better, especially for those of us that play handheld or tabletop, because you can put it where you want it. Oh, that's good. It's not like set. You can... Ooh, cool. I play with that. And in there is where the SD card goes. Now, I'm still a little bit nervous about that. Definitely keep an eye on your SD card if you're playing with the back open. I'm very surprised that this is how they had to do it. It's the only complaint most people I know have had about the OLED. And honestly, the same about this one. To be honest, I've never liked this very flimsy one-sided stand. I never use it because I've hated it. And you got the SD card there like that. But this is only, one. It clicks, but, I don't like having the SD card so out in the open. I did know someone who, even with their 3DS cartridge, just fell out of their 3DS, and at events I would sellotape, I would tape my cartridge into the console because I was terrified of it falling out. But I wish they had done something more. I wish Nintendo had done something more with SD card security. That's, I feel like a bit of an oversight, but because SD cards are kind of necessary with the Switch Lite. With the Switch Lite, but with the Switch, because internal storage, some of the games can get quite big. But on that note, the storage, let's shut that back up. I'm excited about the storage. Now, something I didn't realise until the other day when I was researching the Switch OLED is that we have more internal storage as standard. Now, the original Switch model and I believe the Switch Lite have 32 gigabytes as standard. Actually, I'm not too sure about the Switch Lite, but I know the original here, 32 gigabytes internal memory as standard, but with 2 terabytes to be expanded with the placement of SD card. If you put an SD card in there, up to 2 terabytes. But Switch OLED, 64 gigabytes of internal storage as standard. And that is fantastic because I was actually struggling with storage for a while. Some games don't like to be on the SD card. So having a bigger internal memory, always a plus. That said, you can get micro SD cards for quite cheap now anyway, but we do like bigger internal storage as standard, so that's another benefit to this model. Going on my list here, battery. Now the battery for both of these consoles are actually the same. The original Switch did have a revision. I believe it's the same battery. I believe they both had a 4310 mAh battery, but they did bring out a revised original Switch model which had a different chipset. A lot of people are unaware of this. A different chipset which better optimized battery usage. So they have a different chipset to the launch day Switch models, but the battery is the same, just better optimization. That's how I understand it. Now I believe my Pokemon edition here should maybe have the revised chipset. I'm not 100% sure of that. But if you have a launch Switch model and you're still rocking the launch day model with the older chipset, you should see an improvement with handheld battery life here. So if you have a launch day model, I've seen a few people on Twitter saying that their launch day models are struggling a bit these days, and that's why they want to get a Switch OLED. So definitely if you are a launch day model owner and are concerned about handheld battery life, Switch OLED should be a good upgrade for you. And the battery life, the charging time should be the same as the more recent Switch consoles, even the Lite, unless you're running an original model. Now moving on quickly to the dock before because I just realised we haven't opened the rest of this. I just went straight in with all that. Okay, so also in the box here you have your charger. This is going to be the same as the one that we already have. Very, very thick charger, which is annoying. Like, anyone else have that problem with those, power adapter things, and you can't use the plug opposite it because you have like a really big plug in that takes up some room, and it's like, oh, now I'm wasting a plug socket anyway. You got your HDMI port here, got plenty of those. You have the Switch handheld, like for the Joy-Cons, if you want to play with those in like controller mode. And what's that? Oh, that is the charger there. And you have the straps for the Joy-Cons as well. I don't know how to put all these back in. I hate taking things out of boxes because I like putting things back in, because I don't need this for now. I don't need it. It's basically all the same wires as your original model. Now the dock is also very exciting with the Switch OLED model. Should not forget about this dock. And I am excited about this dock because, while it may just look like a Switch dock, it is a little bit different. It's a different shape. So we have a more rounded design. This one is a nice white design. You get a black one if you got the other OLED model. You got your two USB ports on front. Nothing on that side. And with this one, you take it off, I believe. I hope I don't break it. Is there a way of taking this off? Oh, and on the bottom you got a serial code there as well. Because with the other one, it flapped down. There we go. This is a slight bit smaller than the old one because you are losing one of those USB ports. You only have the two USB ports up here, and on the inside you have AC adapter, HDMI out, and instead of another USB port, you have the LAN adapter. Now you may think, oh no, losing a USB port, that is like annoying. However, do you know what I used the USB port there for? The USB official Switch LAN adapter. So I don't have to have that plugged in anymore. I can plug it straight in to that port there. So I don't need that extra USB port. So it is really not a big loss because I'm losing an extension basically, and I can plug it straight in, and that's great. So less wires, and we love less wires. I don't know how I feel about not having the flap to go down. Then again, I'm not really going to be needing to ever go in here, so that's not such a big deal. Yes, the 2 ports on the front there. So I would probably put the charging cable there for my Pro controller and my my Pokeball Plus charging there. So it's all good. And you put that back on there and the wires come out there nice and neat. So a bit of nice tidy cable management as well. We love to see it. Now how does this go back on? How does this go back on? There we go. Lovely. And also, some smarter people than me, I've read some articles on the internet, apparently this is kind of 4K ready and kind of future-proof, and that's very interesting that it is capable of more than what the Switch OLED can do. Okay, elephant in the room, Switch Pro, right? I mean, let's talk about it for a minute. So yeah, people were expecting a Switch Pro, and unfortunately, it wasn't to be. But, you know, situation in the world, shortage of, you know, chips, processors and stuff, that could have aided towards why we didn't get that. And it is disappointing, but it is what it is with the world as it is right now. And Nintendo probably wanted to do that, but had all these parts and in like a warehouse and were making these things, waiting for the chips, but couldn't get the chips, but had all these awesome other upgrades. And so this is what we got. Will we get a Switch Pro? In my opinion, I am actually now unsure. It would be very weird to have another revision on a revision in this kind of way. So I'm not 100% sure. We'll just have to see. But for the time being, the Switch OLED is what we have. Oh, a couple other questions I had. Okay, so system transfer, very straightforward. You turn on the console, you set up, you follow the instructions. It will have a transfer screen. I'm not going to do it right now because I need to charge this up. It should have a bit of charge, but I always recommend charging up your consoles when you first get them. Follow the instructions on screen, and it's pretty much a case of just logging in to your target console with your same Nintendo ID, and it will be able to access your cloud saves. Make sure you have cloud saves turned on your original console, and it will just pretty much get your saves, and then you will have to say which is your primary console. Really following the instructions on screen, super easy, but it's basically just log into the new console and you're pretty much there. You just have to download all your games again. Unfortunately, transferring SD card is not enough and you do have to re-download your games, but system transfer, your saves will be there, cloud saves as well. So nothing too much to worry about, but there are a few games which do not support that, which you have to do a bit of manual business for, including Pokemon and Animal Crossing. Now with Pokemon, what you have to do is there will be an option in the settings that says transfer save data, and you just follow the instructions on screen, pick your Pokemon save, send to target console, and that should be enough. But with Animal Crossing, slightly more awkward. You need to download a program, I believe off the eShop, called the transfer tool, and follow the instructions on screen to transfer Animal Crossing data over. That's definitely something I don't want to lose because I've put a lot of hours daily into Animal Crossing. I'm still playing it daily, so Animal Crossing save data tool from the Nintendo eShop. Follow the instructions on screen for that. A couple other random questions. Now, I've been asked about heat. OLED screens should heat up, in theory, a little bit more. I've not played on one yet for a long amount of time on handheld mode. Joe says he's not experienced any significant heat up, no more than what the original Switch would. So we're not too worried about heat at this time, but I have not played on one to be able to answer that question. And performance, they're exactly the same insides for the most part, so there'll be no difference in performance. You'll only really notice the benefits when the screen is on and next to another one. You shouldn't really feel any performance issues like less lag and stuff. So again, performance, there'll be no difference. It is still a Switch at the end of the day. So here are the three consoles side by side. I know they're like this way and they look a little bit funny, but it was harder to put them the other way. This is my Pokemon Edition Switch Lite, my Pokemon Edition original Switch, and the OLED model. As you can see, these are exactly the same size, and the Switch Lite is just a little bit smaller. Obviously, you cannot play on the Switch Lite docked. Now, a lot of people weren't sure if there was a market for the Switch Lite, like what's the point if you can't like dock it, but there are some people that only play the Switch in handheld mode, and personally I rarely have played in handheld mode. I stream, so my Switch is usually docked and I play it using my computer screen, so docking for someone like me is an important option to have, but is definitely a good entry level to the Switch family, and especially if you're only thinking of playing on commutes or things like that. And so the Switch OLED upgrade, I think, is great for those people who commute, who still want that option to dock, who play handheld mode, who go to friends and, you know, you want an extra screen and like something bigger for multiplayer so you can see what you're doing. I play Hatsune Miku, Project Diva, like rhythm games like that. I sometimes struggle with TV input lag, so having something with a bigger screen for tabletop mode would be very, very useful. And because I have struggled playing it with a screen like this, because I want to play it on a bigger screen, but sometimes the lag, even though I changed the lag input, not great. So having a bigger screen, if I do want to play something handheld or tabletop, absolutely beautiful. Now I can't really show you the OLED screen setup today because I've not set mine up yet, but I have played on Joe's, and he's actually playing Metroid Dread right now in the office, and I've asked to borrow his Switch to show you, and he's like, no, not now. So Joe's enjoying it, and I have had a look over the shoulder at him playing Metroid Dread handheld, and the colours really, really do pop. You don't need me to show you that here today anyway. It really is something you've got to see yourself, and yeah, not having the bezel, like you can see here, like that massive bezel. Oh, I'm getting fingerprints all over this. Even like this, you can see the massive bezel is gone. And you got way more of the screen to play with. And that's good. That's really good. And it's going to be so crazy now going to this one and not having that big bar around things, right? So I think definitely if you are someone who plays in handheld a lot, has a launch day Switch, so might be, you know, not the best anymore with its battery life, with the old chipset. If you commute, did I say that one? I don't know, I'm forgetting what I'm saying now. If you play online and the inbuilt LAN adapter is useful for you, like if you play games like Smash or Pokken Tournament, games that you really don't want that lag, definitely think having a LAN port and having a wired internet connection is very important. And I have played a lot of people on Pokken Tournament DX who have had the worst internet connections, and I wish more people would have a wired connection. I know that's not possible for everyone, but if you can and have the opportunity, honestly, it is so much better for playing online. So inbuilt LAN, definitely good for those who play games that would struggle with lag. So is it worth the upgrade? I think overall, yes, if you've got the extra money. It's not for everyone, and obviously if you can trade in your original model, get a bit of money off, that's all good. A lot of places do let you keep your console for a bit to let you do the system transfers, and you've got to trade it in within a certain amount of time. But absolutely, if you are someone who likes to play your games in handheld or tabletop mode, and fighting game fans, and it is a good little tech revision to the Nintendo Switch family, and I look forward to setting mine up. So yeah, that is the Nintendo Switch OLED console. Let me know in the comments if you've got any more questions about it that I didn't answer today, and if you manage to pick one up. I know they can be a little bit hard to get hold of. And generally, what is your opinions on the Switch OLED? And again, massive thank you to Nintendo for sending me out the Switch OLED for me to show you all today. Really, really do appreciate that. And as always, if you have liked this video, press the like button, share with your friends, and if you haven't already, press the subscribe button for more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.